You're watching Capital One Bowl Mania.
Welcome to the Valero Alamo Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Oregon and Oklahoma are separated by about half the country, but make no mistake, they are rivals. If you say the name Brian Pasinger to either of these fan bases, they'll be transported immediately to an onside kick and a touchdown in Eugene in 2006. That's the last time they played. The guy who was coaching for Oklahoma that night is back on the sideline. Jason Benetti, Andre Ware, Paul Carcaterra is downstairs. And let's start with Oklahoma's quarterback, Caleb Williams, who has looked like Superman at points this season.
Yeah, he has. I mean, from the very first snap that he took in the second quarter against Texas, he was off and running, and his playmaking ability was on full display. I mean, he's bottled up here. Texas is supposed to make this play, but because of the playmaker Caleb Williams is, he breaks it for a 65-yard touchdown. How does he affect the running game? Looking left, getting defenders out of position, and then he's able to pull it down and make plays with his legs. How is he in the passing game? How does that playmaking ability affect the passing game? Short roll, going to get defenders moving because they have to respect Caleb Williams, slip a guy out the back door for another big play. Jason, he is a big play waiting to happen that all the fans watching this one is going to enjoy tonight.
And this is great company, Andre, where you know something about Heisman. This stands out.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, you look at guys like Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, and Sam Bradford, number one picks. This is the greats of Oklahoma, and he stacks right up against them in his first 6 career starts.
Feels like 1999. Downstairs, Kark with Bob Stoops.
Coach, 2016 was the last time you were on the Oklahoma sideline. Tonight you're back. What's this moment like?
Same old feelings, same excitement. Can't wait for the game to start. It's the best.
This is a one-shot deal for you. How do you plan on coaching this game?
Hey, going to be aggressive, go after it. I told the players that, so we're going to do all we can to win.
Have fun, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Hey, he said he's going to be aggressive. Maybe roll some dice tonight for Bob Stoops in a one-shot deal. But Oregon is going to try and provide some resistance for that Oklahoma team with a quarterback who's played a lot of football, Anthony Brown.
Yeah, 28 consecutive starts at Boston College before he came over to Oregon. So he's an experienced guy that is full of playmaking ability in his own right. When he is right, Jason, he is as talented as anybody in the country, both throwing the football and making plays with his legs. Completed 63% of his passes this year, 15 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions, and he ran for another 9 scores. So look out, it's a quarterback's night if you like quarterbacks.
It absolutely is. And I alluded to the last game they played in 2006 in Eugene. Bob Stoops still wears that scar on his body. We talked to him about that game. There was an onside kick. He felt like number one, Oklahoma recovered the ball and should have won there. He felt like also that the Oregon player, Brian Pasinger, touched the ball early, and then there was a mysterious pass interference call on the next drive for Oregon. He remembers all of that. So don't you think this is just another bowl game? This is just another night. Oregon and Oklahoma both remember that deal.
He told us all about it this week when we had a chance to catch up with him by Zoom, and it's amazing how a single play in a career can stand out, especially if it doesn't work out in your favor.
Now this guy is perfect all time as an interim head coach. Brian McClendon is 1-0 as a head coach in his career, and his players are very much behind him. He got a huge ovation from his guys at the Alamo Bowl luncheon yesterday. And you've been here, I've been here to the Valero Alamo Bowl. This is one of the top college football bowl games in bowl season.
No doubt, and we got one of the better matchups, I think, of bowl season. But when you talk about Brian McClendon, actually got a chance to see and visit with him on the field before. You know what he was doing?
What?
Pacing around like a player.
Is that
He said,
right?
hey, you don't have to hit anybody tonight. Relax a little bit. He said, no, when I got into coaching, he said it was all over with. All the tension was there.
Off we go, Oregon and Oklahoma, and this goes into the end zone. And we'll get our first look at Caleb Williams and this offense for the Oklahoma Sooners, who finished the year 10-2. They were a couple plays away from the college football playoff.
Yeah, they really were, and when you look at Oklahoma from top to bottom, just a couple of missed plays at the end of the season against Baylor and then against Oklahoma State. Otherwise, you're right. We may be talking about or waiting to see Oklahoma play in the college football playoff.
Oregon is very thin defensively. Couple of opt-outs, couple of guys who are injured. One of their keys, though, is #1 Noah Sewell, their freshman linebacker, who is ultra-talented anchoring this unit.
And a couple of players that are moving over from the offense to play some defense. We'll get into that.
Caleb Williams touches the ball for the first play, and he will send it up in the air and out of bounds, second down.
Nice start for Oregon, but when you look at it, tight end DJ Johnson, he is moving over to Oregon's defense from tight end to play defensive end. And then Jackson Powers Johnson is going to play some defensive line, moving over from the offensive line.
This is Eric Gray to set up a third down and long, and this is exactly what Tim DeRuyter and the Oregon defense were hoping for on an opening series, third and long.
And they want to get off the field, keep and contain Caleb Williams was the #1 thing he told us. That was going to be the key to the game tonight for them. Limit the explosive plays and set edges and not allow Oklahoma to turn the corner on this defense.
Oregon shifts on the defensive line on a third down for Caleb Williams. Sewell was coming, and that is immediately stopped right upon the catch. And it is the safety, Jordan Happel, coming up, along with Jeffrey Bassa, the linebacker, who made the hit. It's fourth down.
Bassa read it perfectly, and I mean, he never broke stride, hit the thing full speed, making that tackle. What a great start for Oregon.
Now look, Oklahoma can punt the ball now. Mikey Turk averages 51 yards a punt. Now that one goes spinning and rolling and toward the sideline, and this will end up in...
It might bounce 51 yards.
Yeah, that nearly ended up in the Alamo. So Oregon football now, what have you thought of Anthony Brown on tape, the quarterback for the Ducks?
Well, there have been times when you watch him and you think, man, he has got all you need at quarterback. And then there are times when he starts to struggle a little bit and gets himself in a rut. But when he's right, and I think it's going to take early success for Anthony Brown. Give him some easy throws to get himself started. Now he's working with a very young group of receivers.
Extremely young. I mean, they are down 3-4 guys who are typically starters as he will go out of the backfield for Travis Dye, the junior, who actually leads them in receptions with 42 of them this year.
And 2 touchdowns to go along with an excellent player in terms of a 3-down back. He can run, he can protect the quarterback as well as catching it out of the backfield.
Travis Dye breaks a tackle down the sideline for the Ducks, and he's just short of midfield at the 48-yard line. Deshaun White had him first, but could not finish him off in a gain of 23.
TJ Bass with an excellent block. George Moore is washing everybody down and inside. And once Oregon has success, they're going to go tempo.
A quick hitter right here for Dye. Again, it was split out wide, and he'll get a couple of yards as Pat Fields, the senior, who already has his master's degree, made the stop for Oklahoma.
Joe Moorhead, their offensive coordinator, said, hey, we got a West Coast flavor, but we take shots down the field. And for Oregon at some point here across midfield to take a shot.
Loads of time in a clean pocket for Brown. This is tipped, and it's intercepted by Oklahoma, Justin Broyles.
Young receiver, Dante Thornton, very talented but young. And this is a big game for him. Only 5 catches on the season. This is a ball that should have been caught. Anthony Brown, though, is going to have an interception on his stat sheet because of the young receiver.
Pinball didn't go the Ducks' way. Oklahoma when we come back. Four games on ESPN and the app tomorrow. Somebody gets to call themselves Carolina after the Duke's Mayo Bowl. There's always a big battle who gets to call themselves Carolina. Then the TransPerfect Music City Bowl, Tennessee and Purdue. Wisconsin, Arizona State, the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. Mac Brown says if they win, you can hit them with a frying pan. They're both going to take the Mayo bath, though, we're told, Beamer. And Mac Brown, it's a little aggressive from Mac.
Who's going to clean that up if they do dump it on him?
Yeah, that's other duties as assigned, as they typically say in the contracts, as Eric Gray makes the catch out of the backfield for Oklahoma.
He's an all-around back that can play in space. They love to try to just get him in space, but with his size, he can still run between the tackles. And as you saw there, they love to try to get him the ball out of the backfield, try to match him up on linebackers.
A couple of years at Tennessee for Eric Gray, and we have a whistle to stop play before the snap.
Ball start. Offense, number 56. It's a 5-yard penalty. Second down.
On the right guard, Chris Murray.
You're a little surprised at how well Oregon's playing on defense, in Oklahoma with a false start's going to help them out a little bit here. But, you know, with the thin numbers, and that was well documented throughout the week, and they even told us that, Coach McClendon, they're off to a great start.
Bowl season is so funny. You get motivation as such a factor in these games. And this is Kennedy Brooks out of the backfield for Oklahoma, the very patient tailback, and it's going to be 3rd and long. Are you surprised?
I am, just because of, you know, how dire it was made. Made for us to believe that, you know, they were so thin, so inexperienced, but they're flying around. And I'm kind of shocked that OU hadn't decided to just line up, get behind this big offensive line and start to try to move bodies, where later in the game that starts to pay off for them.
Yeah, fatigue maybe sets in a very thin defense for Oregon. Williams under pressure. He got touched but not taken down, and Caleb Williams will set up a 4th down and a couple, and we'll see how much Bob Stoops wants to deal the cards.
See if you know, if he's going to go for it here.
He is.
Football, but you know, it's a bowl game. You're across midfield. Why not? Dynamic quarterback. He didn't even flinch.
Well, you heard his tone when he was talking to Clark. The dice are going to be out on the belt tonight.
And he wants to win in the worst ways.
You could tell his assistant coaches even told us, hey, make no mistake, Bob Stoops wants to win this game bad.
Coach McClendon going to call a timeout here.
See, I like this. You got Bob Stoops,
Oregon takes its first
one game
time out of the
and
half.
done. You got Brian McClendon, 1 game and done. Little gamesmanship. Oregon and Oklahoma, 2 big names.
The Valero Alamo Bowl is brought to you by Valero. Essential products, essential for life. Valero. And Visit San Antonio. Plan your trip at visitsanantonio.com.
Off the top of the show, we told you about some of Oklahoma's former quarterbacks like Kyler Murray and Sam Bradford. There's a running back history in this program as well that we talked to Cale Gundy, the offensive coordinator, about in our meetings. And think about the run they had with those guys, Adrian Peterson, Samaje Perine, too many to list with a 4th and 2 coming up. Yeah,
some good ones. Here, Oregon's got to be alert for Caleb Williams showing it, trying to get out on the edge. A quarterback run of some sort here.
It's a tight end, Jeremiah Hall, in motion. And Williams looks that direction. He's got the 1st down and then some for Jeremiah Hall. A gain of 9 to move the sticks.
Nice job of reading things out. Zone coverage, so you get your receiver just kind of showing you the numbers, and a nice quick delivery of the football to his tight end, Jeremiah Hall.
Brooks again, stonewalled by Mace Funa. Gain of 3, 2nd down. This is a fun matchup, Andre.
It really is. And Oregon up front right now just refuses to be bullied. They got bullied a little bit against Utah twice this year. In the regular season and certainly in the championship game, but they're refusing to be moved off the line of scrimmage, holding Oklahoma kind of in check in the running game, especially between the tackles.
Even without Kayvon Thibodeau, who opted out to enter the NFL draft, their exceptional defensive lineman. And here is Kennedy Brooks, and he meets Noah Sewell, the freshman linebacker, with a big pick to try to keep them in that Pac-12 title game.
And he's an outstanding player in his own right. Sideline to sideline player, versatile player who can also, you know, basically run things down on the outside. And all they say is they just wish that he was a little more vocal. So he brings some guys around, but he certainly lets you know it with his play.
Then in the next breath, they say that's just not him yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Yep.
Yeah, he'll get there.
3rd down and 6 for Oklahoma. Williams with a clean pocket. He can scan and he dumps it off. And a little sidestep from Kennedy Brooks gets him the 1st down as Bridges undercut it.
That was one of the weaker points of his game, is that teams were able to play zone coverage against Caleb Williams, and then he'll throw the ball into some bad spots. Tonight, scanning the field, and that's what bowl practices help you with. Development of your young quarterbacks, and he's been able to kind of look at tape, analyze some things. How do you beat this zone? Looks good so far.
Brooks loads of space up the alley, and he's got another Oklahoma 1st down.
Good block by Chris Murray, transfer from UCLA for 56. Pulling around there, solidifying things for Kennedy Brooks, and really opened up a nice hole. Inside the red zone goes Oklahoma. 96% on the season when they get down inside the red zone.
That you will absolutely take. Brooks around the corner. There's the patience from Kennedy Brooks that they rave about for a touchdown.
Braden Willis threw the touchdown freeing block for Kennedy Brooks. Excellent block by number 9. Watch him on the end, a nice kick out, and just continuing to fight and occupying a defender that allowed Brooks to patiently wait things out and then explode once the hole presented itself.
You an NBA fan, Andre? You watch NBA?
Absolutely.
For me, the way he sees the field as a running back is the way Nikola Jokic sees passing for the Denver Nuggets. He just waits for the time, as that is no good. So it's 6-0 Oklahoma.
Nice block here by the Braden Willis, the tight end, allowing Kennedy Brooks to get himself into the end zone and to give OU an early 6-0 lead.
Some opt-outs too. Isaiah Thomas, Nick Benito, Brian Asamoah, Perrion Winfrey. They're thinner as well. Now we see the legs on Brown. So as a former quarterback, if you know you have young receivers, how do you keep that patience if you're Anthony Brown when you expect better?
Well, you know in practice that they're playmakers. Otherwise, they wouldn't be on campus and certainly running for the first team for this bowl game. But you just got to keep reassuring them. Kind of, there he is.
He went right back to him, and Franklin does make the catch for a 1st down for Oregon.
And go right to him even when they're dropping the football. Go back to him. Try to build some confidence. And they tell me Troy Franklin is as talented as they get. He's going to have a fantastic career at Oregon. He's just young.
Well, he was on campus in January. He hasn't been there a full year as Dye gets this run, Cart.
When I spoke to Anthony Brown this week, he actually mentioned to me
that
when I spoke to Anthony Brown this week, he told me that he knew this moment would be coming for these freshman wide receivers. He's groomed them. He's talked to them all season long, and each and every one of them has a different skill set. I'll tell you in just a sec.
I guess I was the only one that didn't hear Cart, by the way. You know, we've gone so long this season.
Yeah.
I've tuned him out, is what's happening.
I've just played referee with you two all
yeah, you're not kidding.
It's been fun. It's been a great 2021 season, and to end up here in the Alamo Bowl, to top it off, it's been great.
This is a great bowl. We've done this a couple times.
Yeah.
Great hospitality.
And a big down here for Oregon on 3rd down, 44% on the season.
They'll go with Dye, and he is a bulldog. That's a 1st down for the Ducks.
Kind of ran into his tight end, Terrence Ferguson, another freshman. So you're talking about most of the receiving weapons, all are freshmen for Anthony Brown. The only guy with experience, Travis Dye, and the 5 guys in front of him.
Dye comes off. Cardwell is on, knifing through to the 25. And Travis Dye now, that young man you were looking at a moment ago, is now a 3,000-yard rusher in his Oregon career.
Cardwell really came on as the season progressed. Once Verdell was down with an injury, has a ton of potential.
Brown felt the pressure coming and then threw it low and incomplete. The pressure caused that. Crocker didn't have much of a chance to reel it in.
And he had Cardwell on the other side, wide open. The pressure by Redmond in the face of Anthony Brown caused him to really force him to get rid of that. Another big third down here already. They went the running game before. See if they go back to Travis Dye here.
Yeah, he's back on the field, 3rd and 2. You called it. Dye right through the teeth of the defense, dragging tacklers inside the 5. That is a muscular run.
Excellent block by the tight end, the freshman, Terrence Ferguson, to kind of kick out on an end, and that allowed Dye right up the field. An excellent read by Anthony Brown as well to give it off underneath to Dye. And Oregon operating now in here inside the 5-yard line.
Go right back there.
Go right back to it. Those big 5 guys up front starting to get some push. Why not?
There he is. And I believe the right tackle moved before the snap.
Before the snap, false start. Offense, number 19. It's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
It was Ferguson.
Ferguson who threw the block that freed up Dye the play before. And that's what you get with freshmen sometimes. You get great ceiling plays, and then you have some that let you know that they're freshmen still.
And that's why you don't want to coach.
only basketball.
That's right.
That's it.
There's Brian McClendon, the interim head coach.
Yeah, I still wouldn't shy away from the running game, though. Go right back to Dye.
And now we got a whistle again. Brian McClendon was sprinting down the sideline of the 15.
Oregon takes its 2nd timeout of the half. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
He's young enough to still move like that.
He was booking it down that sideline. You got plans for New Year's Eve?
No plans. Traveling.
You're going to watch football.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. You're supposed to say, yes, I'm watching this bowl game that's popping up on the screen. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl on ESPN in the app. It almost didn't happen. I'm glad it did. Wake Forest deserved one more game. Sam Hartman's just outstanding to watch. They'll take on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, a late ad. That's 11 a.m. Eastern time with the college football playoff coming up after. What a season that young man has had.
Be over 4,000 yards after that bowl game, 36 touchdown passes, and would have been a shame if Wake Forest didn't get to finish their year and playing in a bowl game. So kudos to Rutgers for being prepared and ready to go, and they'll travel down and be some ball game.
I think the Oklahoma band has more people than either football team tonight. They will go with Dye, and this time Oklahoma strung it out. LaRon Stokes, the defensive lineman, got there, and it's 2nd and goal.
They are keeping a spy on Anthony Brown just in case he pulls it. He's got eyeballs on him where they're not going to just let him get away free and start to really focus in on Travis Dye. They are playing this entire RPO game of Oregon's.
They'll split Dye out into the slot. 2nd and goal. Brown has to dodge one and can't do it. Down he goes. Marcus Stripling, the junior linebacker from Houston, got him down.
The false start penalty by Ferguson, and it just has gone the other direction for Oregon. A missed assignment outside by Stephen Jones, and it allowed a free rusher in the face of Anthony Brown.
You said it.
Yeah, Stripling was there to make the play.
I was just going to say that penalty, Andre, you said it, changed the drive. They were 1st and goal at the 4. Brown short set. He goes to the outside for Hudson, who does get a bunch of it back, and now you going to think about going for it?
I'm going to take some points here. It's, you can't pick up a 1st down, and they're at about the 6-yard line or so. So I'm going to go ahead and take some points here from Coach McClendon.
Come on.
Yeah.
Full season.
Yeah, we got a lot of game. You want to reward. You don't want to go down and come back empty-handed and not put points on the board here. Now, you still got to kick the field goal. still got to make it. We saw an extra point missed already.
And maybe that opens the door to you kicking the field goal here.
Exactly.
When you know
Exactly right.
it's a 24-yarder for Camden Lewis for Oregon. 6-0 becomes 6-3. Well, Brian McClendon, when he got introduced at the bowl luncheon yesterday, he got 3 huge ovations from his team. And this guy, McClendon, has been very close to being a head coach in the past, like right at the 2-yard line previously.
And I think at some point he is definitely going to become a head coach. I think he's ready. It's just the opportunity and the place that he feels that's best for him. But there's no doubt that that he'll be a head coach at some point on the collegiate level.
He and the offensive coordinator for the Oklahoma Sooners, Cale Gundy, they both told us had some great battles for star tailbacks. Gundy was recruiting guys to Oklahoma. McClendon was at Georgia, and they went head-to-head on the road for big names like Sony Michel, some of the guys that went to Oklahoma, Nick Chubb.
Yep. They would sometimes end up in the same school at the same time. Waiting on one another to come out of one house so the next guy can come in. The stories they tell. Cale Gundy there calling plays tonight for Oklahoma.
He was one of Bob Stoops' first guys when Bob Stoops showed up at Oklahoma in the late 90s, early 2000s. Came from UAB and took the phone call, left on a Saturday after getting Bob Stoops' phone call on a Thursday. He was that interested in coaching with Stoops. Hey, this season, along with their contributions to universities' general scholarship funds, for every field goal and extra point made, Allstate also donated to the American Red Cross to help with disaster relief efforts. Thank you, Allstate. What a great program, and it's been since 2005.
Yeah.
They've done some magnificent work.
If Oklahoma goes back to the run game here, they had a tremendous amount of success in that previous drive, the touchdown drive, with Kennedy Brooks topping it off.
They had 4 carries for 30 yards, 7.5 a pop. And here he is again. Brooks, a couple of yards going behind Tyrese Robinson. Happel with the stop. Jordan Happel notably doesn't have the club on his hand anymore. That was a social media sensation during the Oregon season.
That thing was huge. How he had an interception with it is beyond me.
Yeah, and the Washington game, I mean, it was just insane. As this goes to Woods, Mike Woods. And if you haven't seen it, was that the biggest one of those you've ever seen? The club?
Yeah, that's about as big as it gets. It's toned down, way down for tonight's game.
Yeah, he still got it wrapped, but it's not the same as it used to be.
Big down here for the Ducks. They try to get off the field. I think they got enough. There's a lot of people leaving. They have 11. Stay on the field, young man.
He wanted the screen. Williams standing back, and he's going to throw it in the ground. There is a flag down on the near sideline.
Might have had the officials confused.
Offside. Defense number 48. 5-yard penalty results in the first down.
It wasn't because they had too many. It's when he came back on the field, he looped around and ended up offside. He was fine with a number count. Running diagonally off, and that puts him off sides behind around the 30.
Kennedy Brooks to the 41-yard line. Under a minute to go in this first quarter. 6-3 Oklahoma on a touchdown missed extra point combo.
And right back to the running game. Just going to try to wear down the depth of this Oregon front seven.
There isn't much depth to speak of.
No.
They will run it again. This time it's Gray who took a first hit and got a yard after. It was Happel who got in and touched him first on a gain of 4, and that could be the final play of this first quarter. And it will be.
That's the end of the first quarter.
Bob Stoops likes it. Back on the sideline for one last dance. 6-3 his Sooners. Here's a look at this year's winners of the Navy Federal Credit Union ROTC All-American Scholarship Program. Ian from Missouri University of Science and Technology, Zachary from UMass Amherst, and Grayson from the Citadel. This award spans the entire country, all branches of the ROTC, celebrating students who embody leadership, military excellence, scholarship, and community service. Congratulations to all 3 of them on their honor as we open the second quarter, and Oklahoma with Jeremiah Hall gets it on a 3rd down and 1, so they'll move the chains.
Both teams are getting it done on the ground. Oregon averaging about 7.5 yards a carry, and then Oklahoma just under 6. Reduction on the ground game.
Free runner came, and a beautiful jumping grab. Mario Williams lost his helmet, and he's going to score anyway. Now with the helmet coming off, they're going to send him.
It's going to be a long discussion here. And that's where you just, I know it's the rule, but
he's coming back.
Yeah.
With the helmet coming off, this will not be a touchdown. We're going to check in with Matt Austin, our rules expert. Matt, what do you have here?
Yeah, Jason, as soon as the helmet comes off the runner's head, the ball's dead. So as soon as it came off, the play's over right there and then. It's unfortunate. They threw a flag for the face mask, but he can't get the advance.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 28. By rule, when the runner's helmet comes on, he cannot advance the ball. The penalty will be enforced till the end of the run. It'll be 1st and goal.
Matt, I want to ask you, would you change that rule if the runner is not near anybody else?
Well, now you get into in whose opinion is anybody close to him. In this case, it's easy. But if there's any doubt anybody could hit him, it's a foul to hit a runner without a helmet, or any player without a helmet. So it brings in too much other stuff that could happen. So no, I don't see any change.
What I would say though is, if you know there's a free runner, why wouldn't you try and yank somebody's helmet off?
Take the penalty over the touchdown any day.
So it's going to be 1st and 10. They'll get 33 yards instead of a 51-yard touchdown for Williams, but he'll have a story to tell his grandkids in many years. Williams keeps his feet and dodges out of bounds. There's a flag down in the offensive backfield.
Not sure who this is on, if it's against Marquise Hayes or the guy he was working, the defender he was working against.
Holding. Offense number 54. It's a 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
Every offensive lineman is kind of giving you that, what are you talking about, look, throwing those hands up like that. Yeah, he's guilty.
I gotta say, I don't know that Bob Stoops is going to love Oregon, Oklahoma officials for the remainder of his time in the game and on the planet. It was a rough go in 2006.
Caleb Williams is impressing me in the passing game. And that's the area where he could grow the most. Against zone, he's executed, and then against the blitz, he's done it as well.
Here is Williams sending it high in the air down the sideline for Stoops, and it's incomplete.
And Noah Sewell on the blitz, coming free right in his face, and he's just kind of buying time, that strong arm, where he can still kind of throw it off his back foot, even with pressure in his face. That's how he hit Mario Williams. Blitz is bearing down on him, and he's able to still just kind of throw the ball accurately. He is going to be something else.
Whip it out of the backfield, and not a whole lot there because Bassett tackled Gray in the open field. It's a gain of 1.
It's an excellent tackle. Freshman. working in space. Some athlete, both he and Sewell. That's a true freshman along with Noah Sewell. They are set at that spot, the two inside linebacker spots for the next couple of years. You see that. Two true freshmen in the middle of a defense, and both are playmakers.
Oregon has a chance to be really good next year.
Yes, they do.
Williams climbing the pocket, sends it out wide and a little too much for Gray. What's that throw like, Andre, for a quarterback?
It's tough because you're rolling number one left away from your arm strength, and so just to try to gather your body and throw accurately is tough in and of itself. But then you have pressure that's coming, that's barreling down on you, makes it an even tougher throw.
This will be from 40 for Gabe Burkich.
He was close in warm-ups. He was trying 57-yarder, so this should be no problem.
Burkich to make it 9-3, and this is good. Oklahoma by 6 against Oregon early second quarter. This is the Valero Alamo Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. San Antonio and the Riverwalk, a lovely sight for this bowl game dating back to 1993. And there have been some big-time #1 outfits, but games in this bowl too. 1998, Drew Brees and Purdue beating #4 Kansas State in a huge upset.
I was here 5 years ago for a crazy one with Oregon and TCU.
That was a wild comeback.
Wild game.
Hudson on the return. And he'll get to about the 22. Did you think they had it in them to come back, Andre?
No, because they couldn't move it at all in the first half. And then all of a sudden they went in the locker room. I'm not sure what Gary Patterson said to his bunch, but they came out and just steamrolled. As much as Oregon steamrolled them in the first half, it was a 180 in the second, with TCU coming all the way back and then finishing the thing off in the third overtime.
47-41 the final score. TCU played some iconic bowl games as Cardwell on the run for a short gain. We were at the Cheez-It Bowl a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
With TCU and Cal, with multiple illegal forward passes intercepted by the same person. Bowl season makes memories, Andre.
Tough one. Sooners got a player down.
That's Deshaun White, the linebacker, the senior from here in Texas.
Oklahoma early downs, starting to camp out around the line of scrimmage. Extra defender or two, expecting run. Oregon's going to have to pick it up on first or second down. Maybe shoot a little hitch route or a slant or something just to keep Oklahoma honest, where they can't get an extra guy in the box to help defend against the run.
Travis Dye so far, Andre, 6 carries, 65 yards. It's been a good night for him as White will walk off under his own power. The senior.
They've done an excellent job of running the football. Mentioned earlier, they're at about 7.5 yards per clip.
That'll win you some bowl games.
No doubt about it.
Anthony Brown chased now. Throw is a little bit low, and it's incomplete. With Seven McGee out of the backfield, sometimes in the slot, other times 3rd and 9.
That's another freshman, but that's a ball that Anthony Brown, as a senior quarterback, has got to be able to complete that one. And so now you start to think he needs an easy throw to make, and it may not be this possession. They're able to pick up a first down here. He needs a couple of easy throws to kind of get him back in rhythm.
pocket caving in on him. Brown throws low again, and it's incomplete. And now Crocker is a little frustrated that time with a third low throw, Andre, from Brown.
Yeah, another young player, just a sophomore, is Crocker, but never really setting to throw. It's kind of a hitch. His feet are still moving, and when that happens, you notice the ball is starting to nosedive on him.
Yep.
You gotta be able to set your feet where you're throwing accurately. You can step into throws as opposed to kind of drifting, and then the ball's also you're losing sight of the ball. It's going nose down into the turf.
When you say losing sight of the ball, what do you mean?
Well, get back with you after this punt return.
Mims on the return. This is Marvin Mims for Oklahoma, and it's a good one. It's across midfield. Net of 25 on the punt.
Boy, it just opened up big time for Mims, who's averaging about 9.5 yards per punt return on the year. It's just electric.
We're going to talk footwork from quarterbacks when we come back.
No doubt.
The Valero Alamo Bowl is brought to you by Valero. Essential products, essential for life. Valero.
Tell you what, they had some quarterbacks at Oregon. Justin Herbert, most recently, Mariota, Joey Harrington.
Talk about both programs. I think both have produced some outstanding quarterbacks. Oklahoma in their own right, but so I got a chance to see Justin Herbert on Sunday against the Texans.
Can we get you a Schooner hat? Can we? Would you wear it?
No.
You wouldn't?
You can get it. I'm not going to wear it. You talk about balance. OU, 11 runs, 11 passes. That's balance, my man.
Kennedy Brooks finds the seam again. Another big run for Brooks down the sideline inside the 10.
Let this big offensive line of Oklahoma take over when they've been clean. And I mean, by not getting penalized, they've been magical up front. I love the patience of Kennedy Brooks. He kind of allows things to develop in front of him, and then still has the gear, the punch necessary to get himself through the hole with plenty of speed. 8 carries, 82 yards, and a touchdown. A lot of guys would take that in a night's work.
Yeah, they would. He wasn't an immediate gotta have this guy for Lincoln Riley and his staff. They watched him on tape, they watched him in person, and they said, you know, the statisticals don't really do it for you, but then you watch him and what he does patience-wise is impressive. Williams trying to find some space, a little hesitation, and down he goes. So 3rd and goal coming up as Bridges from the corner spot got the stop.
He is a big corner at 6'3", about 190 pounds as a redshirt freshman. Very bright future for him. Oregon's got to play bend but don't break here, and Oklahoma looking to punch in another one.
I think they might go for it if they don't get it.
I think so. I think this is 4-down territory, no doubt about it.
Williams wants the fade, Stoops in the end zone for a touchdown, Oklahoma. The Stoops you hear from the crowd could be for father or son.
I think it's definitely for son after that catch. But how about the quarterback play of Caleb Williams? Knew that they were blitzing right up the A-gap between the center and both guards, and he just backpedals out, puts it in the air for Stoops to make a play. And the 5'9", 5'10" Stoops goes up, climbs the ladder, and comes down with the football.
He had 1 touchdown all year when his dad wasn't coaching. He's got 1 touchdown in the bowl game with his dad coaching. Beautiful moment for the Stoops family to make it 16-3. He's got a big old hat on.
Well, 2 outstanding plays. How about the Kennedy Brooks run? The patience to set this thing up. And then the touchdown pass from Caleb Williams to Drake Stoops. Blitz is coming, buying some time, and just throws the lob shot. Stoops able to come down with it. it's a pretty good offensive football right there. You're able to run it and throw it successfully, and on consecutive plays, you're definitely going to keep this Duck defense off balance.
Little did they know a couple of months ago that Drake and Bob Stoops would be on the field together. And we asked Bob Stoops, what's it like coaching your son? And he said, well, at this point, he's such a good kid. I don't really have to coach him.
Right.
He just is him. And cool thing for Drake to get a touchdown tonight.
Drake's a walk-on at Oklahoma. An honorable mention All Big 12. Three-time academic All Big 12. He is living the life in Norman.
Hudson again. And he just got tripped up just shy of the 30, and then he crosses the 30. Cart downstairs.
Yeah, well, Bob Stoops definitely likes coaching Caleb Williams, and Jeremiah Hall, the tight end, had some neat perspective. I talked to him this week. He said, you know, he played with Baker, played with Kyler, Jalen, and Spencer, and Caleb Williams, he said unequivocally, is in a lane of his own. Those guys did not start as true freshmen, but what really stood out for Jeremiah Hall was that Caleb Williams cares like a veteran. He's so mature, and we know about what he does on the field, but he took 11 classes in the spring to be ready for spring ball, between online, in high school, and at OU, taking spring classes just so he could learn the playbook, get to know his teammates, and right away he got the respect. And this kid, we know what he does on the field, but he's so cerebral in terms of the way that he sees the game and he deals with people.
Yeah, really impressive guy. You showed it, Andre, right off the top of the show, his first play against Texas. And now Oregon turning to die on that first catch, and he's going to have to be a dude tonight for the Ducks.
And I think Oregon's going to need points right here. About getting just inside of 10 minutes left in the half. Oklahoma getting hot on offense. Need some points here.
Anthony Brown steps up. That door was closed by Stokes, and he goes down. He looked around the edge. Stokes was there, and then Redmond finished him off.
I don't know why he decided to pull it down. Chris Hudson from his left, the receiver crossing, and he was wide open. All he's got to do is stand in there and deliver the football. See the entire field.
You know, it's interesting. Anthony Brown had a couple games where he was under 50% this year. Then he goes about 80% against Oregon State, one of his best games as a Duck. And this one on the wide receiver screen gets him just short of the 45 to Brevard, the freshman.
About the original line of scrimmage. Make it about 3rd and 9. Mentioned earlier, about 51% on the season on 3rd downs, which is outstanding. They need one right here.
4th in the country, Andre.
It looks like Oklahoma's going to play a little bit of zone, keep it in front of them, and then try to tackle them short of the line of gain.
Brown over the middle for McGee, who shook one, and he gets knocked down. Royals was in there right in midfield.
If Ryan McClendon entertains the thought of going for it here on 4th down. Right in midfield. You need some points. You need the football. Trying to keep a hot Caleb Williams on the sideline. I might hard count and punt the football here. Try to draw Oklahoma offsides, get me a free 5 and a free 1st down.
Oh, they're going. Quick snap, quick throw, and that is a 1st down for the Oregon Ducks. Spencer Webb, the sophomore tight end out of Sacramento.
He's done a nice job of getting Dye into that area of the field, and as well, now the tight end on 4th down, Spencer Webb. It's an area of concern for Oklahoma because Oregon all of a sudden keeps exploiting it.
Brown snaps off a deep ball, and it's incomplete. He had Franklin by 3 steps.
I can't believe Franklin doesn't make at least an effort to go catch the football. That's the old quarterback in me coming out. It doesn't have to be a perfect pass. You got the man beat. Go get the ball. It bounces right beside you. Put your hands up and make a play. That's irritating.
You were going to jump out of the booth when that ball was in the air.
Not every ball is going to come down in your hands.
Out wide, and now that's stonewalled immediately by Broyles. Nothing there for Hudson. And suddenly, Andre, you miss on that shot. It's 3rd and 13.
that may be one that you probably should have sailed over his head out of bounds and not taken the loss after the catch.
Andre, you said it in the first quarter. Anthony Brown's going to have to fight frustration tonight with a lot of inexperienced wide receivers.
I just can't believe that the previous play when I was watching.
To Dye out of the backfield. Dye hesitates to the 41-yard line, and it's going to be 4th down and about 7.
And just long enough. If it's 4th and 4 or 5, I think Coach McClendon rolls the dice again on 4th down. But when it's this down and distance about 7, that qualifies as 4th and long. Punt and play defense.
What about a fake punt here?
Nah, I don't think so. I think he's going to punt it away, try to pin Oklahoma inside the 10.
You win again. Snee pops it in the air, and this does bounce and check up, and right around the 10-yard line is where Oklahoma will have it. It's a 30-yard punt and no return, and the Sooners have a long field here in San Antonio, 16-3. We have 5 bowl games on New Year's Day. Coverage starts noon Eastern. Sean Clifford and Penn State against Arkansas on ESPN2 in the Outback Bowl, and on ABC 1 Eastern, the Verbo Citrus Bowl in Orlando. Interesting matchup with Iowa and Kentucky, 2 differing styles. Also available on the ESPN app, one tap. You can build some Legos and watch some football like the Oregon Duck. First down for Oklahoma. Caleb Williams pulls it and throws it and has another completion. And this will go all the way across the 20-yard line. Farouk on the catch and just driving the legs for an Oklahoma first down.
Yeah, he is a youngster that they really hold in high regard. He's got a very bright future at Oklahoma, and you start to see why the coaching staff just raves about Jalil Farouk.
Third running back to touch it, Marcus Major this time, and he is across the 30-yard line on a gain of 9.
A good block by Marquise Haynes, the left guard, going around, just kind of clearing out some area for these young running backs. Oklahoma scored 3 on 3 straight drives.
And that makes this a big moment for the Oregon defense. Major another first down. There is a marker at the 34.
Holding offense number 52. It's a 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That tackle Tyrese Robinson.
Andre, when you were a quarterback, what did you say to your offensive line when they held?
I didn't say much to them because they were already frustrated that it got called. And one thing you don't want to do is kind of tick off a guy that's protecting you.
Yeah.
Every once in a while you tap him on the helmet. Hey, if it happens a couple of times in consecutive series or downs, hey, tap him on the helmet. Hey, lock in, let's go. You know, that kind of deal, just to motivate him a little bit. But usually you let those go.
But you'll wear out your receivers.
Those are effort penalties, I call them.
Williams, incomplete. Notably, you didn't answer that you wear out the receivers part of the program.
Every once in a while, I got a text from Jason Phillips, and I can be a little intense when it comes to receivers.
Were you?
A little bit.
It's high standards.
Well, I expect them to catch everything, and, because the talent level is there.
Yep.
To catch it all. To catch everything.
3rd down and 8 for Caleb Williams and Oklahoma. Williams steps back through the pocket and has the first down. A dart for a first down to Woods.
The patience of reading it out and allowing routes to develop down the field. 3rd and long, it's going to take some time. So you got to buy some time to let the routes develop and then shoot it out there. And he's been magical in that sense. They rolled him on first down. He's able to complete one to Farouk that was an absolute dime throw. That one ranks right up there.
Kept it been there for a while, and it is Gray slicing through to the 45-yard line. Nice run by the Tennessee transfer Gray as he got by Sewell first.
Sewell, their leading tackler with 106 on the year. Doesn't usually miss tackles, but I think the wear and tear is starting to show a little bit here early in this ball game, or late in the first half, with this front seven of Oregon. Getting about 3 deep in terms of running backs, and all 3 are having success for Oklahoma.
Last time Oregon and Oklahoma played, Adrian Peterson had a huge fourth quarter. Deep ball for Williams, down the middle, right on the money for Mims, and a Sooner touchdown.
He is the deep threat and the adjustment to the football. He throws it in the middle of the field. Mims has to go get it. It's exactly what I wanted to see from Troy Franklin, the youngster for Oregon. Adjust to the ball. This is thrown down the middle. You see him leave his original path and go track the football. That's how it's done.
How about that, Andre? A 14-point turn based on decision-making by the wide receiver, and now the 4th straight scoring drive for Oklahoma. And a big lead for the Sooners.
Caleb Williams throwing darts tonight, but buying enough time for receivers to get down the field. Mims tracking it and capping this baby off. OU up 23-3.
Coming up on the Smile Direct Club halftime report, Kevin Negandhi, Booger McFarland, and Joey Galloway will tell you about the Cheez-It Bowl if you missed it before our telecast. The Terps at the Pinstripe Bowl. Wow. And then no Mechie, no problem, the belief is, for the Alabama Crimson Tide. We will find out if that's true in the college football playoff coming up in just a couple of days.
As long as Williams is on the other side. If he's ready, Bama's ready. No doubt.
Jamison Williams is an outstanding player. This one Oregon will let go, and we'll be back in 10 seconds after a message from Ally.
However this game ends and whichever team takes home bragging rights, for everything we do, we're all better off with an Ally. Back to you.
I like having Kevin Negandhi as our ally.
Yeah.
A good dude there. 23-3. What do you want for this Oregon drive, Andre?
Go back to Dye. You know, that's where they had some success. The offensive line started to establish the line of scrimmage. Got to go back and find the running game here.
Brown to the sideline, got a first down connection to the 40-yard line to Crocker.
Him going a little bit, Anthony Brown. I still think in order to score, move the football with consistency, you're going to have to go back to Travis Dye at some point.
Great out of the backfield, as we told you earlier in the receiving game. Here is Dye on the run, and a big drive for Oregon because the Ducks do get the ball out of halftime.
If you're able to put some points up with about 3.5 minutes left here in the first half, then you get it in the second half and you're able to put points up there. Now you're right back in the game, but first order of business is to get on the scoreboard here.
Brown flushed out of the pocket, trying to break it down, and he gets by one across the 45-yard line, and a first down. Danny Stutzman, the freshman, had him in his sights, and Brown got around him.
This is the athletic ability we talked about in the open of Anthony Brown. Nothing open downfield, is able to make a guy miss, pick up a first down, and how Oregon's operating.
Here's Dye again. Anthony Brown, here's a guy who runs very well for somebody who's popped his ACL twice in his career.
He had over 600 yards on the ground with 9 touchdowns to go along with it. So he's every bit the dual threat. Got to get him going. It's a scoring drive to cap it off with a touchdown.
Pressure came again. They got a shoulder pad, but nothing else.
Smart play. Smart play, throw it away, come back on third down. Instead of taking the loss or trying to force the football into coverage, it's the experience shining through for Anthony Brown.
Joe Moorhead raved about him in our meeting.
Yeah, and I think it's 4-down territory. So that you may see them do something that you wouldn't normally do on 3rd downs, but knowing that you're going to go for it on 4th down if there's some type of gain here on 3rd down.
A whistle comes in with the mascot as Clark's new assistant down on the sideline.
A false start.
False start. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's Amuvai Laulu, who's back for this bowl game. There's some question about whether he'd return. He is back.
That's tough. You knew what the plan was by running dot. It's something on 3rd down to get it to 4th and short and go for it, but you got to throw it to get it back to that same situation.
3rd and 13 for Brown. Pressure again. He has to give more ground, and he does get it away for Franklin at the 35. So this is playable. 4th down.
It's perfect. You go for it here. No doubt about it. That's what you were trying to do before the false start penalty. Laulu. And so now you go for it here on 4th down. Maybe die into the flat area. It's where they've had a tremendous amount of success.
It's got to be the 32 or better for Oregon to move the sticks. Brown kept it and didn't pitch it, and down he goes, spiked down by Stripling.
And Dye's showing his frustration because he felt like the ball should have been pitched, especially when you make the first defender miss. It was just kind of out of sync. There the ball's pitched, you put one-on-one situation with Dye and Patrick Fields. I'm not sure they pick it up with Fields being the dynamic secondary player that he is, but at least you want to get the play off the ground.
So now, as you see the red on the elbow there,
I'm dialing up deep shots right here. I'm Bob Stoops and Cale Gundy with Caleb Williams. I am going deep, my friend. Defense is on the field. They're a little frustrated because they're back out there. 75% for the game so far for Caleb Williams. 12 of 16, 129 and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, I may dial them up.
See if they do it on the first play here. It is Gray on a strong run across the 40-yard line, driving the legs, still going downstairs. Paul.
Well, Andre, you want Caleb Williams to dial it up. Well, guess what? The corners for Oregon, it's been tough sailing. DJ James hit the portal, and Mikael Wright, he opted out. So their 2 starting corners are no longer with the team. Not to mention they're down to 2 starting inside linebackers on scholarship. Outside of those 2 starters, no inside linebackers on scholarship. This defense has been decimated.
Yeah, that's tough to deal with, and we'll see what they do on 3rd and 1 here against Clemens defense.
Oklahoma, their first of the half. It'll be a 30-second timeout. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 19 seconds, 1:19. Thank you.
I'm with you, Andre. I'm a little surprised they didn't take a shot there.
They'll run it on 3rd and 1 to pick up the first down, and then that's when the shot's coming.
I like when you have a feeling like that. Bowl season rolls on tomorrow. 4 more games on ESPN and the app. This one featured Jordan Addison and number 12 Pittsburgh against Michigan State and Peyton Thorne. The 53rd annual Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl coverage starts at 7 Eastern time. Also the Pat Narduzzi Bowl, Michigan State and Pitt. We saw Jordan Addison in Blacksburg earlier this year. He is a dynamic playmaker.
He's something else. He's going to go over 1,500 yards. And then maybe, I would try to get him the ball early, quick 3, and then let him settle into the game so we make sure we get him his 100 catches on the year. No doubt.
That's how Steph Curry does it. He gets his shots up, finishes the record, and then wins the game. Caleb Williams on the run. Got another nice block on the outside. This time Kennedy Brooks. Murray as well, the right guard.
He's played both guards. Hayes as well as Murray have played outstanding for Oklahoma along the offensive line.
Williams taking the shot up top this time, and incomplete. Mario Williams tried to double back for him, and it's second down.
Yeah, had quick pressure. Got to solidify some things up front so that Caleb Williams can sit in there and really step into that throw. But throw it a little bit quicker than he wanted to.
You see the defense struggling with personnel. 138 yards on the ground allowed.
It's tough how they got to go about business tonight, but you got to take your hat off. They didn't look for a way out. They wanted to play tonight. Because of it, we're getting a good ball game.
Look at him shed people. Kennedy Brooks across the 30-yard line and a first down. He is a really tough tackle.
Center Robert Congo opening some things up, and you're starting to see it now. This big offensive line of Oklahoma leaning on the D line of Oregon. The holes are just starting to get a little bit bigger and bigger.
Do it again. Cutting inside, then back out. Brooks seeking the end zone. He's in. What a night for Kennedy Brooks.
The block by Jeremiah Hall. He just blocked this guy into the end zone. I mean, unbelievable block by 27, the tight end, Jeremiah Hall. Going to see him just lock on and just drive his guy all the way to the end zone to where he doesn't touch Brooks or even get in the neighborhood.
No, he was 5 yards away because Hall locked him up.
It's just sick, the block that Hall threw.
Jeremiah Hall has been around a long time. He was recruited by Bob Stoops, never got a chance to play for him until tonight. And I was talking to Jeremiah Hall at the bowl luncheon yesterday, and he was talking about Bob Stoops, and he said, you know, Bob recruited me. And I said, you know how I know you're a senior? You called him Bob's, not Coach Stoops.
Coach Stoops. But watch the block here by Jeremiah Hall. Focus in right there on 27 and just watch the effort. Leaves one guy and then locks on, and the guy can't get away. This block continues to block him all the way down and took him into the end zone. Down the field into the end zone. Sick.
Clark, you spent some time with Jeremiah Hall. How impressive is he?
He's awesome. He told me 2021's been the best year of his life, between school, getting a master's in business administration, but also football. He said he's watched so much tape over the last couple of years. He watched how running backs run, how wide receivers broke their routes, and really worked on his feet in terms of the passing game. And you saw the block there, Andre. Watched a ton of Orlando Brown, who was a legend offensive tackle for the Sooners. So he's a combination of a little bit, and you saw him just laying it there.
He also claims to have the best podcast in college football. Jeremiah Hall.
Start listening after seeing that block.
I know one person who won't be a guest after that block, as Hudson is across the 20-yard line. Now, look, I'm going to tell you about this first, but I have a thought on 30-3 in the Valero Alamo Bowl here.
We've been here.
Yeah, fans, join us virtually for the College Football Playoff All Access experience, featuring exclusive content, games, and daily prize drops. Register today, ESPN.com/CFP All Access. I believe it was 6 years ago. The score was very similar to this, the other direction. Strange things have happened in the shadow of the Alamo.
No doubt about it. I was here to see it with Oregon against TCU. Wouldn't it be fitting, though, that Oregon had it happen to them a few years ago, and then all of a sudden the amount of comeback for the second half?
What would it take?
Receivers holding on to the ball, a little bit better protection up front for Anthony Brown, and he needs to get himself going. And then I'd go back to the running game as well with Travis Dye. Get him reinserted into this game so he feels a part of it. Not sure he does right about now.
Spit it outside, a second straight catch for Thornton.
You want to take that time out. Coach McClendon, need all the time you can get to try to score here.
See Travis Dye there on the left. He has had a big first half, and they're going to wind the clock now. No timeout taken. Brown, another long throw, this time to the edge. And that's not going to go for enough. Hudson.
And that's the inexperience. Catch it, get what you can get, but get out of bounds where you save the timeout.
Oregon takes its final timeout of the half. It'll be a 30-second timeout. Please reset the game clock to 3 seconds, 003. Thank you.
Well, look, even if Travis Dye doesn't touch the ball here, they got to have him in the second half. As Brian McClendon, his second chance at the interim head coach situation, he was that for Georgia upon Mark Richt's departure back in 2015 in the Tax Slayer Bowl. He's a very impressive coach who, as you said, is going to be a head coach one day.
There's no doubt in my mind. And see the resume there, but I just think I really enjoyed the conversation we had with him. And he's alluded to that he's had opportunities, but they weren't the right ones. I think the right one is coming in the very near future for Brian McClendon.
And we'll talk about this some in the second half, but a credit to a number of guys on his staff and a number of guys on the Oklahoma staff for sticking around. You see a lot of coaches leaving.
Yeah. One thing's for sure, you're not going to out-recruit that guy.
No.
No way.
Anthony Brown, one last play. He's going to go ahead and send it out wide. And Thornton won't go down for the moment. Now that'll do it. And we will say farewell for halftime. But again, things have happened in this game. You never know. You never know. Enjoy Kevin and the crew. 30-3 Oklahoma with the lead. The Smile Direct Club halftime report is next with Kevin, Booger, and Joey.
Welcome back to Capital One Bowl Mania.
This is the Valero Alamo Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. 30-3 Oklahoma with the lead over Oregon. There have been massive comebacks in this game before. We'll see what the Ducks have in the second half. As we thank you for joining us, Jason Benetti, Andre Ware wearing a Christmas present from his son Z.
And no doubt about it.
Nice
he asked me, hey, when are you going to wear it? And I said, next time I'm on. And he says, how am I going to get away with the pink? But hey, you do what you do.
It's a beautiful thing.
I love it.
Paul Carcaterra is downstairs as well, always looking beautiful. How does Oregon come back here?
I think it's a couple of things. They've got to go back. Remember earlier in the game when they were getting stops and forcing Oklahoma to punt the football? That has to happen. They need stops on third down. Then this possession, this opening possession of the second half, got to go down and get some points in order to get themselves going and get a flow offensively. And I think then it's just play the game and let it come to you. But get Dye back involved in the game. Get Anthony Brown moving a little bit to throw the football. Start to put some pressure on Oklahoma's defense.
What did you think of Oklahoma in that first half?
Very impressed with Caleb Williams. At one point, he was 75%, 12 of 16 at one point, just throwing dimes. And he looked very relaxed, very comfortable in the pocket as well as on the move. I think you're looking at one of the guys that we are going to talk a lot about in 2022.
Look, he almost brought them to the college football playoff. They took a couple of losses, lost to Baylor, lost to Oklahoma State. It's a 10-2 Oklahoma team, and Oregon and Hudson on the return. He's had a couple of nice ones. This one will not go in that category. He is short of the 20-yard line as we check in with Cart.
Well, Jason, I just caught up with Brian McClendon, Oregon's coach, and he said Oklahoma up front has been real. The push has been real. Kennedy Brooks is 127 yards on the ground, and the Ducks defense is having a real tough time stopping the run. Offensively, he said they've been able to move the ball, but not in critical spots and too many third down penalties. Do not be surprised, he said, if you see Ty Thompson, who is the freshman quarterback. He's only played in 3 games, so he has another game to play, not burning a red shirt. He's the highest rated recruit in Oregon history, and they've had some great quarterbacks, guys like Justin Herbert, Joey Harrington, and Dan Fouts. So he's from Gilbert, Arizona. He's got an elite big arm, 17 and white, might make it in this ball game.
Yeah, rival days. Number 2 dual threat quarterback overall, number 9 overall coming out.
Glad you asked about him, Cart. We may see him. Travis Dye breaks a big one into Oklahoma territory, and it's all you can ask for if you're a Duck fan in this opening 30 seconds.
Well, you get the ball to playmakers, and Travis Dye certainly qualifies as a playmaker for this Oregon defense. Now, finish this drive is what should be the message from Coach McClendon. Get us into the end zone, but you got to start to put plays together and finish.
Brown quarterback set. Hudson puts his hand on the ground, and that was really gymnastic to stay upright on a medium gain on first down. He wanted to take it to the house.
I really like him. In the return game, you can see the playmaking ability, and then I think you got to find ways to get him the football. Stop on a dime, make guys miss. He's a player.
Freshman out of Compton is here is Cardwell, another freshman for Oregon. They are loaded with him. And 3rd down and 2. And Clark mentioned Thompson. It's going to be interesting next year. Bo Nix transferring in.
Yeah.
That quarterback position will be really intriguing.
I don't think it's automatic that Bo Nix is the starter. Ty Thompson's got something to say about that. As Clark mentioned, the highest rated recruit to ever hit campus. Kid can play and is looking to compete.
3rd and 2 for Oregon. Opening drive, second half. Cardwell does have the line to gain to the 27. And they call trouble. Delarian Turner Yell with the tackle.
The strong suit of this, I think, football team to this point is the offensive line. Why wouldn't you run the football to try to get yourself back in this thing?
As you say it, Brown's back to pass. And he's giving ground. He got by 1 tackle and then just has to wing it to the sideline. That's out of bounds incomplete.
Oh, what an effort. I'm not sure who that was. Seven McGee with an outstanding effort. Well, obviously being thrown out of bounds on purpose, but he's trying to get there to make a play. That's the guy I want in the huddle.
Yeah, down 30-3, that kind of effort.
Still giving that type of effort, no doubt.
You know, Dan Lanning, the new head coach for Oregon, is watching this. Seven McGee thought about the transfer portal and decided to come back to Oregon as Cardwell gets stonewalled by Broyles, and it's 3rd down.
This pressure here to have to deliver on 3rd down, looking to get about half of it, and then maybe go for it on 4th down. We've had a tremendous amount of success with the backs to the flat, and it's there for Anthony Brown if he wants it to Cardwell.
Tommy the pocket. Brown throws it over the middle and does have the first down to Crocker just outside the 10.
Nice throw and a nice catch into zone coverage. Crocker just kind of reading things out along with the quarterback, knowing not to run through the zone and take a big lick. And Anthony Brown does a nice job of protecting him, hitting him on the back shoulder with that thing.
This is Dye into the end zone and a touchdown, Oregon.
Well, he can play some football, can't he?
Big time.
Over 1,100 yards on the season, 15 touchdowns coming into tonight's ball game, but a nice job up front. And Ferguson at tight end has done an excellent job all night long of throwing blocks in the running game.
You know, Travis Dye's not scared of his deficit. He said,
oh no,
the scariest thing that he's ever done was about a week ago when he proposed to his longtime girlfriend Erin. He just got engaged. Oregon's going to go for 2 here to try to make it 30-11. Scorigami people are getting very excited. Hudson looking for the end zone, and he is in. It is 30-11 Oklahoma. Oregon on the comeback trail, and you never know in San Antonio in bowl season.
And another outstanding block by Terrence Ferguson, the tight end. Kicks out. He actually threw one on the Dye touchdown, and then on the 2-point conversion, number 19 throwing a nice block as well for Hudson.
It all comes down to this. College football playoff semifinals, December 31st on ESPN and the ESPN app. Bryce Young won the Heisman. He'll take on Cincinnati in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Then number 2, Michigan. Number 3, Georgia. The Capital One Orange Bowl, and the winners play for the national championship Monday, January 10th on ESPN. I don't know about you.
Good matchups.
Yeah, those corners for Cincinnati against Alabama's receivers, Andre.
Be tested and see if Sauce Gardner and Kobe Bryant can step up and meet the challenge.
Oklahoma still up big here. And they will get the ball just short of the 25 with Gray. As we take a look at tonight's clutch delivery, brought to you by Chipotle. And that clutch delivery, the long ball to Mims, Andre.
Oh, yeah, what a throw by Caleb Williams. Reading things out, scanning the field from one side to the other, and then locates Mims, who adjusts well to the football. Tell you what, that's what you have to do. Just let a guy run under it, put it out there, and it's just a nice throw and catch. The first half it was for this Oklahoma offense, and especially for Caleb Williams. 12 of 17, 129 yards. A touchdown toss to Mims.
Injured player is Damon David for Oregon, along with Key Lawrence for Oklahoma. Lawrence is still down. David over on the sideline. Key Lawrence, a sophomore out of Nashville who spent 1 year at Tennessee in Knoxville. And we are going to step aside. 11:29 to go in the third. Oklahoma 30-11, and we'll check on Lawrence when we come back. Injured party was Key Lawrence. You see him on the left side of your screen, Andre.
Yeah, just kind of friendly fire from one of his own teammates, and he was able to get up after some time and walk off. So I think he's going to be okay, and it's good to see him, you know, get off the field under his own power.
30-11 Oklahoma in the return of Bob Stoops to the sideline for Oklahoma, and he's seen the tailback Kennedy Brooks put together a very nice night so far. But Bob Stoops was on the 18th hole on the golf course when he found out his services might be needed for this game, and he was ready to go. He figured, why not? One more game. He is maybe even more beloved now in Norman than he was when he left, as Williams on the reverse has some space and breaks it down along the sideline against Verone McKinley III, the outstanding safety for Oregon. It's a gain of 11.
The big fella's trying to catch him in space, and there was no chance that he was going to catch Mario Williams. You talk about a guy that can pick him up and put him down.
Outside Mike Woods. And second and medium coming up. Clark.
When I spoke to Bob Stoops at half, gentlemen, he said the balance was key in the offense. Caleb Williams through the air, Kennedy Brooks on the ground. He attributed the offensive line having an elite first half performance. And I'll tell you, field level, there is major push with the big guys up front. They've been fantastic for Oklahoma.
And they go right behind him as you say that with Gray. And he turns it up down the sideline. Gray inside the 15. It's a gain of 48.
Well, we've given credit to Jeremiah Hall, but Braden Willis now is the guy you got to give some credit to. Number 9, excellent block to free up Eric Gray, and start to see the speed on the back end of it by Eric Gray. He's right, this offensive line and the tight end group with Hall, Willis, and then Hayes and Murray, the left and right guard respectively, they have done an outstanding job in this ballgame.
Longest carry of the year. That was about 50 yards of Gray. On first down, he'll lose a couple.
You just gonna slip that right by me.
I live for that giggle I just got. That's all we do on Friday night, typically.
I couldn't even hold his ankle.
Hey.
Oh, that was great.
Hey, look.
50 yards of Gray.
We learned from John Madden, who just recently passed. If you're not having fun in the booth,
that's right, have some
you're
fun.
doing it wrong. And for me, that's one of the major lessons of that guy who we just lost yesterday. One of the great football men of all time and a tremendous announcer. Caleb Williams running behind Brooks, found a crease, and he's down to about the 6-yard line.
We are looking at one of the top players in 2022 right there. He is going to be on a lot of lists, preseason list, be the Heisman list, a lot of others. O'Brien list to start the season.
You should know all the lists. You won them all.
He's playing his way right onto a lot of those lists.
Out of Gonzaga College High School, nestled in D.C., played for the great coach there, Randy Trivers. Caleb Williams spins it out wide for an Oklahoma touchdown, and Gray finishes the deal.
With just the arm strength to wait it out. And Gray's kind of waiting on it a little bit. But then once he decides and it just kind of clears itself up, he just spits it out there in a hurt for Eric Gray.
Oh, Pulp Fiction there.
You're doing movies all over the place, aren't you?
Three different receivers have caught the 3 touchdown passes for Caleb Williams today. 37-11. Oklahoma with the lead. Card, you're down on the sideline. How loud is the cannon fire after the touchdowns in this building?
It's like you on a Zoom call screaming every week. Yeah, it's really loud. Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you, and I was talking to Bob Stoops before the game. We were both really touched in terms of the support by Sooner Nation coming to the Alamo Bowl. They brought their fans. They brought their energy. It's been incredible.
Yeah, I mean, you're walking around downtown San Antonio. All you see is Oklahoma gear everywhere you've gone the last couple of days. It's been quite the turnout for the Sooners.
Unbelievable. I'll tell you also, when Bob Stoops was on the 18th hole, when he got that call, the message he had to his team in the first meeting is no one individual is bigger than this program, including him. And when you're around this program, when you're around this fan base, you believe it.
Yeah, he's reiterated that to his players. And what I think is really cool, Kark and Andre, watching him with the players and the reverence these guys have for him, the knowledge they have of how important he was to the program. I mean, for some of these guys, he didn't recruit them, but they feel that, and they feel the honor that he brings as we take a look at the Bowl Challenge Cup standings brought to you by Progressive. Cup goes to the conference with the best winning percentage in the postseason, and I have to say, the SEC at 0-4.
Surprising.
Yeah, a little shocking.
A big congratulations to Dana Holgerson and University of Houston Cougars yesterday, adding to that total by the SEC to go 0-4 as the Cougars beat Auburn yesterday in their bowl game.
I know you're not on Twitter, but Dana's been posting pictures with the bowl trophy at like the pool, on the plane. He's gone a little off the rails, and I love it. As Dye might have lost the football. Oklahoma says it's their ball.
I think he was down, actually.
Going on the field, the runner was down before the ball became loose. It was second down.
Tell you what, if Oklahoma didn't get that one, but they got the one in 2006, they'd be okay. Let's see.
He's down. Then the ball comes out.
Anthony Brown down the middle for Crocker. And he's got a first down past the 30.
He's starting to heat up a little bit. Completing a couple of passes. I watched him in warm-up. He is certainly capable of hitting every inch on this field with the football.
Dye is knocked down. I want to ask you, what makes a quarterback so good one day completion percentage-wise, then he has a drop-off mid-season? What makes him that type of guy?
Well, the one thing I would point to certainly in this game is the lack of experience on the outside. Guys that you've built a rapport with, working through the offseason, through the season, and then all of a sudden they're not there, and you're relying on young players.
This is a beautiful ball for Thornton, and he waltzes in for the touchdown.
Big 6'5", true freshman with tons of speed. They just describe him as very talented. You see exactly why with that dime that he caught from Anthony Brown. Boy, looking off coverage one way, knowing the entire time he's going back down the left sideline, and he hits Thornton right in stride. Hey, you score a touchdown, see it and match it. Right back down the field in a hurry come the Ducks.
They're going to kick the extra point this time. That was the longest play of the game, 66 yards and home. And the extra point.
I Nice.
It is good. Hey, look. It's 19 right now. There's 22 minutes left.
Plenty of time left. Stay with us.
What else are you doing tonight? Come on.
The Valero Alamo Bowl is brought to you by Valero. Essential products, essential for life. Valero.
Have some fun with the Dolphins, get a boat ride, and enjoy San Antonio. How about 59,000 people here for this game? I mean, this is a bonanza every year in San Antonio. They had the Final Four here just a couple of years ago, and interestingly enough, Loyola of Chicago was here, and Porter Moser, who brought them to San Antonio, now the head coach at Oklahoma. Let's tell you about New Year's Day. What a lineup we got. You and I, if you want to watch TV and also listen to ESPN Radio, we'll have Oklahoma State and Notre Dame in the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific. Then number 11 Utah to take on number 6 Ohio State in the Granddaddy of Mall, the Rose Bowl game presented by Capital One Venture X. And then Baylor Ole Miss in the All-State Sugar Bowl. Great day of bowls to ring in the new year. How about those Ohio State wide receivers?
It's going to be a good football game, a physical football game. Utah, they can bring it.
Would you say Oregon had the biggest non-conference win of this college football season with their win against Ohio State?
When they went to the shoe and beat Ohio State there, no doubt about it.
Big time underdogs in that game too. As Oregon tries to inch back in this game, Caleb Williams throws it down the middle. He's got Farouk into space across midfield. And Oklahoma with a big hit of 30 yards, Cart.
Not good news for Oregon. You saw the big play by Caleb Williams. Noah Sewell just walked off into the locker room. Arguably their best player, the inside linebacker. They're now down to one scholarship inside linebacker. That's Jeffrey Bassey. He's a converted safety. So Sewell is the heartbeat of this Oregon defense. Second in the Pac-12 in tackles. And he is the energy and the spark of this defense. And when you talk to teammates, they just love Noah Sewell. They love his energy and his passion for the game of football.
With that, Cart, Andre, if you know he's out and you're calling plays like Cale Gundy is, where are you going?
I'm running the football. I'm going between the tackles because arguably their best run stopper is not in the game.
Williams, Farouk again. Boy, is he good in space. Farouk breaks across the 25-yard line. Khalil Farouk.
We're seeing some good young wide receivers in this one. Farouk on the other side. Thornton with that long touchdown catch. Farouk is fun to watch. Figure out a way to keep feeding him the football.
And they lose Hazelwood, transferring to Arkansas, and Farouk steps in here with Mims a long touchdown catch tonight as well. Kennedy Brooks on the swing pass, little side step. That is nifty, soft shoe from Kennedy Brooks inside the 10.
Boy, it seems as though Oklahoma has an answer for Oregon. Oregon scores, Oklahoma's okay. We're not going to panic. We're not going to try to get it all back, but some big plays within the structure of what they want to do offensively is allowing them to move the ball down the field with very little effort. Farouk, you got Kennedy Brooks, Caleb Williams throwing dimes.
Brooks waiting, buying time around the corner. Kennedy Brooks, a vintage run that time to the pylon, and it is an Oklahoma touchdown.
Just the patience of Kennedy Brooks. We've seen it. It's been on display since the first possession of the game. Watch him just kind of wait the thing out, wait it out, allow blocks to set themselves. Waited on Anton Harrison, the left tackle, to throw the final block that got him into the end zone.
How about the footwork to stay in bounds and find his way into the end zone?
Yeah.
You said they have the answer, and they did it in 133 seconds. 2:13 on the touchdown drive for Oklahoma, up to 44-18.
One of the things that Tim DeRuyter told us that they had to do defensively was limit the explosive plays. And on that particular drive, they were in full display. Several of them.
That flag's been getting a workout tonight.
His arms maybe getting a little tired, waving that thing around.
I think Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head are a little overdone right now for Oregon. I mean, look, Oklahoma is not horsing around tonight, Andre. You got to be honest.
No, I mean they have moved the football with consistency. You see there the production on their last 7 drives. They've scored on their last 7 drives 6 plays of 20+ yards. That's getting it done, my friend.
(44-18). Jason Kersey, one of the beat writers for Oklahoma, did a great story about Bob Stoops and his return and just how competitive of a guy he is. As this run will get to the 24-yard line. And by the way, as we close bowl season for us, thanks to everybody who covers the teams across America. They're unsung heroes of all of our knowledge of college football, but there are people through The Athletic, through local papers, doing wonderful work across America covering college football and helping get out details about these players. And everybody in one of these uniforms has a story, and we learn a lot from the beat writers across America, so thank you to them. Anthony Brown is too hot, incomplete.
Well, he was hot before that pass. He was 9 of his last 10, including the touchdown to Thornton. Starting to heat up a little bit. If he just puts a little air under that one, Spencer Webb may be in a foot race to the end zone. Just a little air. And then Dye has been outstanding as well. He's back in the ball game. 18 touches. His runs and passes received. Together, 156 yards for him.
Franklin on the wide receiver screen, and that's across the 35 for an Oregon first down.
Needing to match scores. They probably got to do it in a hurry here, Jason. A couple of quick scores. They need stops as well on defense, but can't allow a possession to go by now without scoring.
The stops might be the bigger problem tonight for Oregon, as the points are coming with a couple of touchdowns here in the second half.
And it felt like that might be the case.
Yeah.
With a very thin Oregon defense, and you get later into a game, you start to feel that, sort of get a little bit fatigued.
You called it in the first quarter. Saying if you run the ball, you'll see that fatigue start to set in as Brown climbs the pocket, gets by one tackler, and got a block from Dye all the way downfield, still engaged in the play, and it is a first down.
And how about knowing exactly where he needed to get to? Because he was trying to flare out towards the sideline and realized, we better turn up and go ahead and pick up his last yard. We need to pick up the first down. He was able to do it.
Unleashes down the sideline, and did he come back to catch this ball? There's a flag down. It was Hudson on the adjustment down the sideline.
I think the flag may be for interference, but that's one heck of a catch by Hudson. Another freshman. You got Thornton on one side and Hudson, Franklin. They are loaded with young receivers.
Could be an illegal touch. The hat came off the far side official.
Yeah.
Matt Austin, our rules expert, is with us. Matt, what did you see on first look there?
Well, the official throws the hat just to let you know that the player went out of bounds.
The receiver was forced out of bounds, did not establish himself back in bounds. It was an incomplete pass. It'll be second down.
So him throwing the hat is not telling
Matt,
you how he got out of bounds. Well, he's right. If the receiver goes out of bounds on his own, either way, he's got to get himself back in bounds with both feet. So he did not. I don't think he got either feet back in bounds. So I think it is a correct call in this case.
So he's got to reestablish back in bounds. Didn't do that. Correct. So well done by the huddle of the officials as well.
Some effort, though. Good effort by Hudson.
And now we will go on second down. Dye does a cartwheel in midair. Pat Fields just undercut him, and Dye is okay after a big fly.
Well, I bet Dye is one of those guys in practice that guys hate to see him coming because he's got one speed, and it's 100 miles an hour straight ahead. He can make you miss, certainly. We've seen him do that throughout this game. I bet you he practices every bit the way he plays on Saturday.
He hits that hole so hard, as this is over the middle for the tight end, Terrence Ferguson. And he rode Fields all the way down to the 39-yard line, gain of 8.
Got to reward the big guy. All these excellent blocks that he's throwing. Why not throw him a bone every once in a while? And a heck of an effort after the catch to pick up the first down.
Brown scanning, and he's going to drop it off for Cardwell, who is knocked down at the 37 by the freshman linebacker who they like quite a bit, Danny Stutzman, out of Windermere, Florida. So Alabama, Cincinnati, Michigan, Georgia on your screen. Who you like and why?
Oh boy, Alabama, because I think at the end of the year after the SEC championship game, you could really say they're playing the best football of anybody. On the other side, that's a toss-up. It just depends on who shows up. Can Michigan get pressure on Stetson Bennett? They can. And I like the Wolverines.
Ball came out. Let's see. They're going to call him down. Cardwell ruled down. Oklahoma pounced on the football.
They have been lucky twice tonight. Dye on one carry and then Cardwell there. Yeah, good call. Elbows down. Ball comes out. That's a good call.
Dye comes back in, Cardwell out. Wearing that number 21 that a couple of greats have worn at Oregon. 3rd down, 5 for Brown. Anthony Brown on the hands and incomplete. Thornton couldn't reel it in.
Got to put it on him. He's trying to almost lead him, and it's zone coverage. Just got to stop him with the football. Get him right between the 1 and the 0. Just stop him with the ball. And at the 1, he doesn't take a lick, or the lick that he's anticipating taking. And you're protecting him with the throw.
Yeah, he felt White coming, didn't he?
Oh, he knew it was coming.
4th down for Oregon. Brown wants it all down the sideline. It's there for the touchdown. Chris Hudson with nobody in the zip code.
Gave a heck of an effort on that same side of the field, which he was out of bounds on, and then comes back a few plays later. And Anthony Brown, we talked about heating up. Oregon not going anywhere yet. Just caught the corner to that side, peeking a little bit too long.
Andre, you know, some people tune into college football just because they like seeing points. And there are some more. Big hug on the sideline for Hudson. Oregon hanging around.
That'll be good. Got offsides on Oklahoma.
Offside. Defense number 32. Penalties declined. Try is good.
44-25. Oklahoma with the lead, and make sure to check out all the different ways you can watch the CFP semifinals Friday, December 31st. Little something for everybody. Hometown radio, halftime marching bands, Spanish language telecast. Do you watch the All 22 sometimes?
Everyone, yeah. That's how I actually prefer to watch it. I love watching it. I study film that way as well.
So if people haven't watched the All-22, what can you get out of it?
Well, you see what every position is doing, why things happen. Really, the game kind of unfolds that way in a different way than actually watching the normal broadcast. I would highly recommend watching it that way.
May I recommend Alabama Hometown Radio with the great Eli Gold as well?
No doubt about it.
No onside kick from Oregon as yet. And this is right near the pylon and out of bounds. I know. I shouldn't say onside
Free
kick
kick out
to
of bounds
Oklahoma.
on the kicking team. The Oklahoma football at the 35-yard line.
You think Oklahoma's been good offensively here?
Yeah, they have 7 straight scores, 5 of them, 5 in a row in terms of getting themselves in the end zone. You know, you got to take your hat off to Oregon as well. They have started this half with touchdown drives of 80, 81, 80, and 76. And there's your quarterback comparison. A couple of big strikes here in the second half for Anthony Brown that really upped that yardage total. But this has been quite the quarterback duel.
.56 seconds to go. Third quarter, and here comes Caleb Williams again, freshman out of D.C. We told you about the All-22. It's a fun way to watch a game. You see everybody.
See everything unfold in front of you.
I kind of like it. Not that I'm going to tell Paul Druzniak, our director, what to do. That's his job to cut the cameras, but that's a good look.
No, it really is. I mean, especially in the passing game, you see why quarterbacks go certain places with the football. You see it. You can actually see a guy looking defenders off.
My gosh, how did Caleb Williams thread that through to Mario Williams, who got a horseback ride from Jalen Davies, by the way?
You know, you study the film on Caleb Williams, and it's impressive, but it's better live and in person, because you see the ball jump off his hand. I think he has got an off season where he is going to get leaps and bounds better, because he will learn to understand coverages better and where the weaknesses are and how to attack them.
I would call that scary for the Big 12, Andre.
Absolutely.
Bob Stoops on the sideline again for Oklahoma, and looking the part of a guy who won a national title and 10 Big 12 titles.
Welcome to the College Football Playoff Semifinals, Friday on ESPN.
That's coming up on Friday. Michigan, Georgia, Alabama, Cincinnati. Here at the Valero Alamo Bowl, Bob Stoops back on the sideline for the Oklahoma Sooners, up 44-25. It's a 36-point combined third quarter. And Oklahoma on the ball. And Caleb Williams on the handoff for Marcus Major. And he goes crashing across the 40-yard line. Mentioned that story by Jason Kersey in The Athletic about Bob Stoops and his retirement and then coming back. Evidently, the first game that Bob Stoops wasn't coaching at Oklahoma in 2017, he decided to go as a fan, and he got caught in traffic. And he said to his wife, "Where are all these people coming from?" And she said, "Honey, this is what happens on game day." Essentially, and I mean, you get caught in it as a player and coach, right? Like, you don't have the same experience as a fan, but he's really beloved.
You don't have the escort to get to the stadium?
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same when you're not on the bus.
How about this Oklahoma offensive line and the production? 44 points before this drive started, or the fourth quarter started, 484 yards, 263 of that was on the ground, and they have not allowed a sack tonight. Big fella's getting it done up front in front of Caleb Williams.
Look at you taking care of his offensive line like a quarterback should. Major on the run. He is stood up by Bassa. And it's second down coming up. So you got two teams that are going to be under new management next year. Brent Venables coming over to Oklahoma, and then Dan Lanning from Georgia to Oregon. There's Venables taking in the game, former Sooner.
Got to be impressed with what's going on. And, you know, he's not only tasked with getting Oklahoma ready for the Big 12 season next year, but soon to be an SEC foe. So you've got to add an element of toughness there that you can navigate an SEC schedule down the road. So you start to recruit that way as well.
Major to the 20-yard line. There's a flag down.
Yeah, I think they got Tyrese Robinson, the right tackle, for holding.
Holding. Offense number 56. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Stand corrected. It's his partner hanging out next to him, Chris Murray.
And our partner hanging out downstairs is Paul Carcaterra.
Yeah, you take a look at Brent Venables, and he thinks the best is yet to come with Caleb Williams. He thinks combined with the supporting cast, the coaching, playing offense, defense, it could be a wonderful marriage. And imagine coaching this guy in your first 2 years as the Sooner coach. Caleb Williams with 2 years eligibility left, and Jeff Levy will be the offensive coordinator coming from Ole Miss and UCF. And Andre, when you look at Levy and what he's done at UCF and Ole Miss, how do you feel like Caleb Williams will blossom even more under Levy?
I think it's going to be a ton of fun for Caleb Williams. I think he's going to blossom big time.
Oh, he's pointing out, directing traffic, stays in bounds, and then slid. Now, that's different than the Kenny Pickett play. He faked going out of bounds and then really slid.
And no doubt about him, but I think he is going to be a special player. And I think where the growth is going to come from is pre-snap reads based on coverage and where you're going to make things a little bit easier. And then when the rotations start to happen in the secondary, you know it because of film study and how you prepared. So I think that's where he can get a lot better in his preparation for games, and then give himself a head start by really adjusting to things as they start to move.
Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
But the athletic ability, the arm strength, the dual threat stuff, he has got it all.
And you think about it, he didn't have a 2020 season because of the pandemic either.
And the thing about it as well, you can tell that when he was inserted into the lineup, this team elevated at times. And guys, that tells me that guys love playing with Caleb Williams as the leader of their offense and one of the faces of the program.
A drop off a screen, plucked by Gray, and Eric Gray trying to weave his way, and it's going to be 4th down and about 2 from the 22.
And when you hear the term "it," that last play is the definition of it. You don't know how he makes a play. He should be sacked and down, dead to rights in the backfield, but all of a sudden it comes out, it's in the hands of Eric Gray, and it's close to a 1st down. That's what it looks like.
Mace Funa is down and injured at the 48-yard line. We're joking around with Bob Stoops on our Zoom call. You know, coaches talk a lot about the media as a group, right? The media have done this, the media have done that. You become the media pretty quick when you're out of coaching. Bob Stoops has become the media, so he can't talk about the media anymore because he is the media.
He has to go for
it. If we're reading lips.
Yeah, let's go is what I'm seeing.
Cart, you talked to him before the game. There's no chance he doesn't go for it 4th and 2 here, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be aggressive. It's house money. You and I, Jay, talked about it all week, right? It's house money for Bob Stoops. It's a one-shot deal. But he's so competitive. You see the fire, and as much as this is a game that he knows he doesn't have a ton riding on it because it's not his team next year, you still see the intensity, the fire, and like the nervous energy before the game. When I was waiting to chat with him, he's all in.
Part before the game, I was down on the field and had a chance to visit with him. He was high-fiving or giving everybody a little dap that was stretching. They were in stretching lines. He was going to every individual player. It's kind of like soaking up the moment, so to speak, of having to do or getting to do this one more time. So I know there's no doubt he's enjoying this.
Oh yeah, but he's going to go for it in this spot, and he's loving it. Yeah. He's loving it.
You think he likes this more than investing in drinkables? I think so. Maybe the same. 4th down and 2 for Oklahoma.
A lot of time on the play clock.
Jeremiah Hall, the senior, for an Oklahoma first down, and a big old hit he put on Bridges on the sideline.
Excellent play call. Get everybody thinking inside run, and then you leak the big tight end out, Jeremiah Hall, and a little get off me at the end of that one. He's had some ball game, hasn't he?
He is an impressive kid, too. He's going to go on and do some great things, whether it's in the NFL or beyond. Send it out wide. This is Mims. And he leans across the 15-yard line. This is an impressive performance by Oklahoma here tonight. They're 10-2, could have been in the college football playoff. Things bounce in different ways. Sometimes you don't get the effort. Bob Stoops has gotten the effort out of these guys along with his coaching staff.
He has tonight, that's for sure, and he's very productive on the offensive side of the ball. They've found ways to get it done. You have a guy like number 13 leading the way, you're going to get a whole lot of things right on an evening like this. 9 straight completions for Caleb Williams.
Timeout, Oregon.
Oregon takes its first time out of the half.
We'll take a break as well. Oklahoma 44-25, trying to go in again in San Antonio. Andre, some coaches leave before bowl games. Yeah. Other guys stay and see it through.
Got to give both staffs a lot of credit for sticking it out. Ryan Odom, Mark Hain, Calvin Thibodeau for Oklahoma, and Joe Moorhead staying, Tim DeRuyter coordinating things for Oregon. Hats off to these guys, because they all have stops after tonight's game, and you know how tough it is to really concentrate, put a game plan together, but then your next job, especially a guy like Joe Moorhead, who is going to be the head coach at Akron, putting the staff together, trying to recruit.
Caleb Williams down the middle, and this is incomplete. Just glad to see Joe Moorhead here. I mean, he had a major health scare before the Stanford game with ruptured diverticulitis, and he said, look, as I checked into the hospital, they gave me 3 options, and all of them were like on let's make a deal, the zonk behind the door. Like none of them was a good option. And thank goodness he's here, because that was a very scary situation.
He's healthy now and looking forward to taking on a new challenge at Akron as their head coach.
Former head man at Fordham back in the day, Joe Moorhead, known as an offensive wizard. Another run, and Major spikes his hand down as he went down to the arms of Jordan Happel.
He didn't get a lot of carries during the regular season. Just 5 coming in for 29 yards. But you start to see, that's a guy that is taking advantage of the bowl practices that OU had and really showed the coaches something, because he has been really, really good tonight.
He had a big bowl game last year, at 110 in Oklahoma's bowl last season. Wasn't eligible until October this year, as Burkett will line up from 29. And it's good. You had 47-25 tonight. Congratulations. Wild score in the Valero Alamo Bowl this evening.
The Valero Alamo Bowl is brought to you by Valero. Essential products, essential for life. Valero. And Visit San Antonio. Plan your trip at visitsanantonio.com.
Lovely San Antonio, Texas, bustling with 59,000 plus here in the Alamo Dome, which is seeing big-time concerts, NCAA Final Fours in men's basketball, the women's tournament last year. The San Antonio Spurs played here for a while as well, early on in their existence.
Excellent venue. Excellent.
Tremendous hospitality as always.
Always.
Seven McGee back to return the kickoff. Seven children in his family, 6 sisters. Seven McGee Big 12 now on ESPN Plus, a must for Big 12 fans. Documentary series Our Time, back for another season. All access, Baylor men's and women's basketball team. Series premiere Thursday, January 6th. And a new show available every Thursday for 11 weeks. Every time I've read a promo tonight, I've thought about Pat Summerall and John Madden. Back when they were on CBS doing the NFL, Pat Summerall would do a promo for the television show Murder, She Wrote. And in his voice, he would say, coming up next, Murder, She Wrote. And the crew started taking bets on how long the space between Murder and She Wrote was going to be. They had great fun in the booth. And one time, that show wasn't coming up. It was the evening movie, Gone with the Wind, was coming up. And Pat Summerall said, Gone with the Wind. And Madden had to leave the booth. He was laughing so hard. Tremendous bit.
That's awesome.
Two of the greats, always in our hearts together doing football. Here is Dye again, and man, he is electric when he gets the football.
Well, they have come to life in terms of offensive production. They just can't get stops to get themselves truly back in this game. But second half, they have looked like the Oregon that we expect to see.
Brown going for a shot to Crocker into traffic, and a flag is coming in.
And rightfully so. Graham, Fields.
Pass interference, defense number 10, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
They got Fields on the pass interference card. This young man is a really impressive kid.
He certainly is, Jason. He's got his master's degree in accounting. He's a finalist for the William Campbell Trophy. It's the best scholar athlete in college football. He has a job offer already at McKenzie & Company. He told me as an analyst in strategy consulting. He is an unbelievably talented young man on and off the field. He also told me he wants to be a CEO and be financially secure enough to get back to his hometown in Tulsa and open a community center for younger people where the focus is on mentorship and development. Beyond impressive.
Oh, he said yesterday to me that he didn't have exactly that type of role model when he was growing up, and he wants to be that. That was missing every once in a while for him, for other people.
Captain, as Carton mentioned, 4.0 student. Started a bunch of games at Oklahoma. Has got a lot of experience.
Third down and 6 for Oregon. Anthony Brown, the senior quarterback, on the move. Got a block outside from Franklin, and down he goes at the 30 after a run for a first down.
I'll tell you what, DJ Graham's lucky. He didn't get a penalty thrown as Brown gives himself up, and then he just makes contact. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's enough to draw a flag.
Brown wants more. Franklin over the shoulder. Did he drag the foot? Yes, he did.
Nice catch.
Wow. Troy Franklin got the foot in and put it away.
On this ball placement by Anthony Brown. And he gets the left foot. I think it's the left foot that comes down inbounds, secures the catch. The other one taps down out of bounds. It's awesome.
Matt Austin, our rules expert. That's a touchdown, right, Matt?
Oh, absolutely, yes. The inside foot was in, definitely. Firm control, touchdown.
But look at the concentration. Helmet, you can see it just eyeing the football the entire time. That's how you adjust to the football, young man. Excellent catch.
Now, Oregon's trying to make this a 14-point game. 4 straight touchdown drives this half for the Oregon Ducks. And this will be blown dead.
Delay of game. Offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay the try.
How do you kick it?
It's tempting. Just think you have to.
Yeah, he's going to. McClendon's going to go ahead and kick it. By the way, we got 6:46 left, and I just want to thank Matt Austin, who is tremendous.
Been outstanding this year.
He's a great man. He's a great rules expert. We are so happy to have him on Friday nights, normally with us, and he's joined us for the Valero Alamo Bowl. And just a heartfelt thank you to Matt Austin, who every crew would be better off having Matt Austin with them.
Ditto. I could not have said it any better. Enjoyed Matt. He has made us look good at times.
We will not open his mic for a rebuttal about us as Camden Lewis knocks down the extra point. Oh, we got to go to break. No time for Matt to respond. How about this catch by Franklin, Andre?
Yeah, this is an outstanding catch by Franklin. Over the shoulder, dropping it in a bucket by Anthony Brown. Down about 15.
Please break this down for us.
Oh, man. Well, obviously, he's going with OU. And then he's going to take it out on the cardboard. Just sharpen his claws a little bit.
Hey, if you see Josh, don't be cardboard.
No.
You're not going to win.
Have something for him to eat.
It's an Oregon-Oklahoma onside kick. Is everybody okay? Jeremiah Hall recovered it for the Sooners.
Says not on my watch.
Andre, it's wild how much coaches remember games like that. That onside kick from 2006. Luke Bellotti, Mike's son, our former colleague Mike Bellotti, had the onside kick that went Oregon's way. Bob Stoops still salty about it the other day when we did our coaches calls.
He had a full-on story about it.
And by the way, he's not wrong. The week after that happened, the Pac-10 suspended the officials for a week. And that does not happen very often at all.
Oklahoma, you talk about some production. 531 total yards. They've scored on 8 straight drives. Shabby for Oregon as well. They've scored touchdowns on 4 straight possessions.
Kennedy Brooks, isn't it interesting watching him live run the football and how slowly it all develops for him?
I mean, he literally lets the offensive line attach itself to blockers, and then then you see the speed element from Kennedy Brooks, just the patience. That's what we were told, and you get a chance to see it live. It's even more impressive. Over 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns this year. That was coming into the game.
Caleb Williams lost the football. It's loose, and he climbs back on top of it. So Oklahoma will keep the ball, Cart.
Well, Andre, you know Texas football as well as anyone, and Kennedy Brooks played in 6A. His junior year of high school ran for 3,522 yards, and honestly, his patience is probably his best attribute, but a lot of people don't think he's as explosive as he can be, or he's not as big and fast and strong as some of the other guys. That's why he had a late offer to Oklahoma. So when you watch him live, you're absolutely right. The patience is off the charts, but the production, not only as a college player, as a high school player in elite Texas football, it's ridiculous.
It's fun to watch. You're impressed by it.
Stoops put the ball on the ground. And let's see, is it Oregon football? It looked like Barone McKinley III swung in there to pick up the ball. Now he's just getting mauled at the bottom of the pile.
He's going to get up with it. I'm just not sure. They're not going to rule Stoops as being down before the ball came out. So
it's a flag as well. I mean, this is still a 2-score game now. If Oregon gets his ball back.
We got a fantastic finish in the making. And you talk about needing a turnover. Oregon needs it. I just mentioned that they've scored on 4 straight drives, and all of them being touchdowns. Got lucky with the Caleb Williams fumble, and they got it back.
Pass interference, offense number 9. It's a 15-yard penalty. It'll be 3rd down. The ruling on the field is that the offense recovered the football. Again, it'll be 3rd down for Oklahoma.
Now let's see. Did Oklahoma get this back?
Remember, every play is reviewed. See if he gets it back. Is he down when he has it?
Oh, that's very close. Matt Austin, you're watching this real time, our rules expert. What do you think? Was that a recovery and down by Stoops?
Well, one of the things as officials that we always preach is if a player on the ground does get the ball, does control it, let's shut it down before a pileup occurs because somebody could get injured. So I'm sure that's what they're saying. It was obviously a fumble. and he starts to gather the ball in. Yes, I think that's control. The defense comes in, takes it away. That's not fair. He had it, knee on the ground, offensive ball.
Interesting. That's really close. I might, for the first time ever, disagree.
I'm wondering if they are going to stop this and take a look. I would snap it if I'm Caleb Williams. That's for sure, before they get a chance to see it upstairs again.
Going to go to Gray. On a 3rd down and 24, just trying to help the field position as Oregon's going to get the football back here, barring something bizarre. And now McKinley is going at it with Farouk. They were pushing each other, and the officials step in to break it up. And Caleb Williams saying, hey, we don't need that. How about the quarterback jumping in to tell his receiver, stop that?
Leadership right there. That is leadership. And Farouk is agreeing with him, and you see him, they'll kind of snap into shape right there. That's one of the things that playing the position, not a lot of guys want to have to do that. You rather just play football, but the leadership skills go beyond just being in the huddle telling guys what to do. It's just being smart, and that's on and off the field.
Verone McKinley III wants to be a sportscaster when he's done with his football career. With that level of zest and spice, he might be on first take at some point.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down. Please just set the game clock to 3 minutes 54 seconds. 3-5-4. Thank you.
Passionate about it.
Yeah, you got to have a take. He had a take. He didn't really like what Farouk was coming with. So it's the first punt for Oklahoma since the opening drive after 8 straight scores. And he just got it away, and down goes Turk. Here comes a marker. It was Terrence Ferguson who broke in and hit the punter on 4th and 20.
Is it roughing or the lesser of the two?
Let's see when a referee turns on his microphone.
Running into the kicker, defense number 19. That penalty's declined. It'll be 1st down for Oregon.
Matt Austin, we'll get another look at this. We'll check in with Matt when we come back. We're stepping aside. Sorry about that, Matt. We still love you. 47-32, Oklahoma with the lead. Oregon trying to come back. What's up? Say hi to Stanford Steve for me. Oregon trying to come back in this thing late. See if you get a bad beat on your hand from this game as Franklin couldn't make the catch. Let's look at the punt again. We'll bring in Matt Austin, our rules expert. The difference between running into and roughing, Matt?
Well, usually if you endanger the pair, hit the plant leg, it's automatic 15 yards. If you run through the kicking leg, it's an automatic 5 yards. So in this case, I think most of the contact was to the kicking foot. So I agree with running into.
Oregon fans might want the 15. It's 2nd down and 10 instead. Thank you, Matt. Anthony Brown just barely got out of the end zone. Redmond and Stripling bracketed him, and Brown is down now in the end zone.
That's one that you wish, just throw it away.
Oregon takes its 2nd timeout of the half. Your 30-second timeout. Please reset the game clock to 3 minutes 32 seconds. 3-3-2. Thank you.
Throw that baby away.
What triggers that in your mind as a quarterback?
Well, you escape the first guy. You're looking, where can I go with the ball to get it out of my hands where I don't take the sack? Sacks are such a motivational thing for the defense. That they, all of a sudden you light a fire when you take a sack that you probably should be, or you have the opportunity to get the ball out of your hands.
Don't forget to tune in to the ESPN app for the Capital One post game immediately following this game. Look, Oregon could have closed up shop at 30-3 at halftime, and it's a credit to this Oregon team. The comeback effort has been strong. Can they finish the deal would be the question against a very game Oklahoma side for interim head coach Brian McClendon for Oregon. 3rd and 16. Brown had to dodge early. Stripling was bearing down on him. And now 4th down from your own welcome mat. What do you do?
I think you got to punt it away because it's essentially you can't give them the football. You don't convert on 4th and 16. And you give them the ball at the 2-yard line. You're basically sealing the deal. So got to punt this away.
You're kind of doing it the other way too, though, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's not a good spot.
No, and you don't get the normal depth from as a punter to get this thing out. So if you're Oklahoma, you want to come after it. And if you're Oregon, you got to just step and punt the thing away. He hit a miss.
Yeah, Snead just drilled it. Absolutely drilled it, rolling out of bounds. I know one guy's watching that. It's Dan Orlovsky standing at the end line. Is always a pleasure for him. How about Kennedy Brooks tonight, Andre?
He has been phenomenal with their running game, running behind his big physical offensive line and out throw the tight ends, Hall and Willis in there with him. He started early and it continued often throughout this ball game. The patience in which he runs to allow blocks to set themselves up, and it just kind of makes his job a little easier, but it takes, you know, some understanding of how to do that, and the willingness to even try it is something else as well. But he has had one heck of a ball game.
You know what that makes him?
A Capital One player of the game.
There you go. I hope this is the last card of the season we read, and you did it. Well done. Kennedy Brooks, 142 and 3 on the ground. And a big smile on that young man's face. Oklahoma with Oregon down to 1 timeout to go. And they'll go with Major on a 1st down carry.
He's got some pop. When he runs it, you feel it on the defensive side. Pyle goes forward. He's got good lean. Redshirt sophomore, they are stacked at that position. Major, Gray, and Brooks all will be back next year. On with Caleb Williams and a bunch of young receivers.
Yeah, both these teams could very easily be in the college football playoff conversation next year. More than 300 yards on the ground tonight for Oklahoma as a team. They're going to drive the legs still, yeah.
Forward, no doubt. Some power there, and he's got some speed to go along with the power.
You get a guy like Major, and it's a catch-22 because you have Brooks there, you got Gray. I mean, who do you want in the game if you're the defense?
Major's got some power. Gray has got the speed and elusiveness, and I think Brooks kind of has a little bit of both. He's kind of the middleman of that group.
Under 2 minutes to go. Bob Stoops is going to get himself a Gatorade bath, it looks like, for the Oklahoma Sooners. And how about Bob Stoops, who said all he has now is time on his hands.
Oregon takes its final timeout of the half. The full timeout.
There it is. Coach awareness goes away when you're off the sideline for a couple of years.
Yeah, welcome back. Trust me, it feels good. It feels good to him. He was high-fiving those kids as they were stretching and getting ready. I talked to him, he said, yeah, I'm getting my boys ready. His boys, that's one big family in his mind. There was no doubt that they chose the right guy to come in on an interim basis to get this team ready, and got the performance out of him that he was expecting.
Joe Castiglione, the athletic director for Oklahoma, has done a tremendous job with that athletic department for decades. And that choice of bringing back Bob Stoops authentically to do this job. You saw the hug he got from Caleb Kelly, who has his jersey on, the sweatpants, and now you're seeing Bob Stoops in stadium, and this round of applause is for him.
had some fun with it. That's what it's all about.
He gave the OU.
Yeah, and one more win to his win total.
Get himself to 191. But Caleb Kelly, the defensive player who just hugged him, has been through 3 major injuries and has kept his head up. He was thrilled to have Bob Stoops back, and that whole sideline is overjoyed right now. What a neat scene. He's a bowling ball.
Okay, he is a physical runner.
How about next year, week 1, by the way, Oregon, Georgia.
Be a tough one, you know. They still got business left here in a couple of days, Georgia, but they'll be ready and restocked for 2022. So will the Ducks. Good young team.
How about that picture there? Bob and Drake Stoops together on the sideline.
Nothing like it.
Bet they didn't expect that family picture was going to be on the sideline again. And that will be the second to last play of the Valero Alamo Bowl. '79 NFL draft picks he coached. He's a college football Hall of Famer as of this year, Bob Stoops. He was on 18 when he found out they needed him back. And this welcome back Cotter South has gone the right way for the Oklahoma Sooners tonight in San Antonio. How about this for Oklahoma?
Yeah, no doubt. Great ball game, great story with having Coach Stoops coming here and coach this thing, and they performed tonight. Impressed with Caleb Williams and especially Kennedy Brooks. Did a heck of a job.
Well, Oklahoma wins. Cart, Andre, it's been an absolute pleasure sharing football with you this
Enjoyed it, my friend, every week.
We have a wonderful crew. Thank you for joining us. Oklahoma wins. Happy holidays. Thanks for watching. We say so long from San Antonio. Coming up next, the Capital One postgame show on the app. Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt is next.